Yeah, thank you so much. So, welcome to all of you and very good afternoon. And the one and only paper of this session is, which is very important in the perspective of Bangladesh and the whole world, is the hyperglycemia in pregnancy. And in this relation, Dr. Faria Afsana, Assistant Professor Endocrinology, Bartem General Hospital and Ibrahim Medical College, is going to present on pregnancy and diabetes. Let us hear from us, and if possible, we discuss later. Thank you. Thank you. With this, I call upon Dr. Faria.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. I think I am audible and visible.
Yes, you can go on.
Respected dignitaries, all the dignitaries of Bangladesh Diabetic Association, Bardem, Ibrahim Medical College, and Ibrahim Cardiac Hospital, I welcome you all to my today's talk on pregnancy and diabetes. In next 40 minutes, I like to cover the pregnancy and diabetes relating categories of diabetes we found in the pregnancy and its significance, risk factors and how to assess the risk factors, screening of gestational diabetes, and the preconception care for women and with diabetes and non-diabetic women, and management. In this management part, I like to highlight management of gestational diabetes, pregnancy diabetes, and also in this COVID pandemic situation. Let's start with categories and its significance of diabetes and pregnancy. As we all know, the diabetes in pregnancy can be broadly categorized in two types. The pre-gestational diabetes, that is women having pregnancy in pre-existing diabetes, either type 1 or type 2 diabetes, or gestational diabetes that is diagnosed first time during pregnancy. What is the significance and difference in the outcome of GDM and pre-gestational diabetes? In the GDM, the mothers have increased risk of developing diabetes mellitus in future. There may be adverse obstetrical outcome if the diabetes is not properly controlled, and the offspring have the future development of diabetes mellitus development risk. And in the pre-gestational diabetes, that is women having diabetes earlier than pregnancy, then they have all the risk factors of gestational diabetes, plus there may be chance of complication during organogenesis if the diabetes is not properly controlled. What are the complications that may occur, the malformations related with pre-gestational diabetes if the diabetes is not properly controlled? All the systems of fetus can be affected, mostly the cardiovascular system, neurological system, gastrointestinal system, musculoskeletal, and the genitourinary system can be affected by uncontrolled diabetes in a woman with pre-gestational diabetes mellitus. What are the complications of gestational diabetes mellitus during pregnancy? There are several chances of complication of mother, including abortion, preterm labor, preeclampsia, polyhydramnios, maternal distress. During labor, there may be prolonged labor, shoulder dystocia, perineal injuries, PPH, and during puerperium, there may be chance of puerperal sepsis, lactational failure. And in case of fetus, there may be congenital anomaly and macrosomia. During delivery, there may be birth asphyxia and shoulder dystocia, probably due to macrosomia. And after delivery, there are some neonatal complications also, respiratory distress syndrome, hypoglycemia, polycythemia, and neonatal jaundice. But the most important thing is this complication all can be prevented by proper control and management of diabetes in women with pregnancy having gestational diabetes mellitus. Let's move on to the risk factors and its assessment. What are the risk factors, especially for the gestational diabetes mellitus? The risk factors, the women who are at risk of developing gestational diabetes are age, more than 25 years, BMI, more than 23 kg per meter square, increased weight gain during pregnancy, history of large for gestational age infants, history of GDM in previous pregnancies, and previous history of bad obstetric history or stillbirth. And few other factors like elevated fasting or random blood glucose during pregnancy, family history of diabetes in first degree relative, presence of metabolic syndrome or PCOS, that is women having PCOS or metabolic syndrome, and unexplained fetal loss in previous pregnancies. These all are the risk factors for GDM development. The one other important factor is the ethnic group. The women residing in East Asian Pacific Island group are the women who are at increase in GDM risk. In this ethnicity, we, the Bangladeshi people, Bangladeshi women are at increased risk of developing GDM. So how to assess the woman before and during pregnancy having gestational diabetes or pre-gestational diabetes? The first important thing is the risk assessment for gestational diabetes to assess the risk factors present or not. Evaluation of diabetic complication in women having pre-gestational diabetes in the preconception time. Each and every complication, neuropathy, nephropathy, retinopathy should be assessed in the preconception period. And the preconception care, very important aspect in the pregnancy management in a diabetic patient and also for the non-diabetic also, as for screening of subclinical diabetes or undiagnosed diabetes in the preconception care. And throughout the pregnancy, another important thing is fetal monitoring. So the action plan of care for these women can be divided into two parts. From the initial part, the screening and diagnosis of gestational diabetes for the women who didn't have diabetes prior to pregnancy, and the preconception care for the woman having diabetes, and also for the non-diabetic women, they have also some requirements of the preconception care before planning pregnancy. After pregnancy, among women with diabetes and pregnancy, either in the form of GDM or pre-gestational diabetes, we should provide the pregnancy care, during delivery care, and the post-delivery care. Next, how to screen for GDM. So as we are in the high-risk ethnic group, all pregnant Bangladeshi pregnant women should be screened for gestational diabetes in their first antenatal visit with a 75-gram oral glucose tolerance test. If the test is positive, then she should be managed as GDM. And if the test is negative, it should be retested at 24 to 28 weeks. And if become positive, she should be designated as gestational diabetes mellitus. In this test, if she is negative, she should be managed as normal antenatal care. But area where there is resourceful and there is patient have the affordability of doing another oral glucose tolerance test, another test can be done at 32 weeks pregnancy also. What is the diagnostic criteria? With the 75-gram oral glucose tolerance test, at least one or more positive values will diagnose the woman as gestational diabetes. That is fasting more than 5.1 millimole per liter, 2 hours post-glucose value more than 8.5 millimole per liter, and where feasible, if the 1 hour value is done, it may be more than 10 millimole per liter. So any one, if crosses the desired level, it should be designated as gestational diabetes mellitus. Next, move on to the preconception care. I would like to divide the preconception care in two parts. As the preconception care for the woman having diabetes, they will prepare for pregnancy, and the other part, the preconception care for the women who are not known to be diabetic but planning for pregnancy. So what is the preconception care for the non-diabetic woman? That is the risk factor identification, screening for glucose abnormalities and other metabolic abnormalities prior to conception. And if she is getting any drug, the drug and the dose adjustment is required. And that should be begin from the very school level, awareness program at school level, college level, young working woman level, and community level, and also at the policy markers levels. Now I like to few aspects of Bangladesh Diabetic Samiti pre-conception care projects. This is the logo of the pre-conception care through religious leaders to make all the pregnancy planned. This pre-conception care program is a collaborative approach of Diabetic Association of Bangladesh and Ministry of Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, and funded by World Diabetes Foundation. This is the teaching or training of the religious leader, Qazis, newly married couples, and health service providers, including the physician, nurses, and educators. And the goal of this project is to improve the community awareness on preconception care and prevention of NCDs, particularly GDM, among newly married couples of Bangladesh through religious leaders. These are the toolkits. This is the poster for the preconception center This is the leaflet for the religious leaders and for the distribution to the newly married couples. And this is the guidebook for religious for use as an education tool. This is the Preconception Care Center example. The educator training the women came for preconception education training. And the preconception care package of the Bangladesh Diabetic Samiti is for the safe conception is a delivery of a package service which includes the proper training by nurse or educators, assessment, general assessment, risk assessment by blood pressure measurement, body weight measurement and BMI detection, and few lab tests including the blood group, hemoglobin, blood glucose, and urine test. And after this assessment, visit by a professional physician to assess the risk and for proper treatment, and by providing a diet chart by a dietitian, and also distribution of the guidebook for including the messages about the preconception care and proper conception health. And also they are provided with mobile helpline services and also Facebook groups through which they can communicate with physicians and educators. And this is the documents for government support by Ministry of Law, Ministry of Information and DG Health for the preconception care through religious leaders, and all these projects are approved or collaborated with government support. And this is the example of a Bangladeshi wedding about the counseling of a Kaji regarding the preconception, planning and education. And the important thing is this project was accepted and selected in the UN high-level meeting as a priority project in Bangladesh. This is the consensus guideline prepared for the preconception care for women with or without diabetes, and the national campaign logo containing the message of Shusto Ma, Shusto Shishu and Samriddho Desh to plan a proper conception or planned pregnancy for all women. Next, the preconception care for a woman having diabetes. That is very important for all women having diabetes should plan the pregnancy at least for 3 months before the conception. The things included in the preconception follow-up is the optimization of A1C at least less than 7% and if possible closer to 6 or 6.5%, whichever is safe, avoiding hypoglycemia, and the target should be fasting less than 5.1 millimole per liter and postprandial less than 6.7 millimole per liter. All medications should be discontinued which are not safe at conception, or any embryopathic drug should be discontinued. Baseline screening and treatment for all the complications should be done, including retinopathy, nephropathy, and cardiac screening and treatment in all symptomatic women should be done, especially in women having pre-existing cardiac disease. Change of non-insulin agents to insulin. It is very important here that this shifting should be done at least 3 months before the conception period so that we can achieve the target HbA1c with insulin treatment, folic acid supplementation, and proper training of self-monitoring of blood glucose. Next, come on to the management. The management can be divided in non-pharmacological and pharmacological treatment. Among the non-pharmacological treatment, the meal plan and exercise is very mandatory and important cornerstone in management of either GDM or pre-pregnancy diabetes. Medical nutrition therapy should be started soon after the diagnosis of GTM and all women in the preconception period having pre-existing diabetes. 3 main meals with 3 snacks should be given, including 1 snack at bedtime, and the calorie distribution should include carbohydrate 30 to 40%, protein around 20 to 30%, and fat less than 40%. Regarding exercise, all women during pregnancy should be encouraged to be as active as possible with moderate intensity exercise throughout the day, but in women having obstetrical contraindication should not be allowed for doing exercise during pregnancy period. What should be the blood glucose target? As I mentioned earlier, the fasting blood glucose target should be less than 5.1 millimole per liter, and the 2 hours postprandial value should be less than 6.7 millimole per liter. HbA1c should be tried to kept at less than 6.5%, though it is a not good tool for monitoring therapy in pregnancy situation. And in some cases, if HbA1c is not in target, then we can change the treatment regime from non-pharmacological to pharmacological therapy. How to monitor a woman with diabetes and pregnancy? For women having insulin, one of the following method can be used: either intensive self-monitoring blood glucose. Women not in target should go for intensive self-monitoring blood glucose 6 times a day in the pre and post to the post meal, and the woman having good control may go for standard self-monitoring blood glucose at least 3 or 4 times a day. And for women having only on medical nutrition therapy, may go for fewer readings per week in the pre and post meal as suggested. What is the scope of oral anti-diabetic drug in pregnancy and diabetes? Use of sulfonylurea during gestational diabetes and pre-pregnancy diabetes is totally not recommended. Metformin is discouraged, and all other OADs are contraindicated during pregnancy. So the only pharmacological agent that can be used in pregnancy is insulin. We can start the insulin at an initial dose of 0.5 to 1 unit per kg, depending on the body weight and also the level of glycemic status. Which insulin can be started? All the human insulin, the short-acting and intermediate-acting insulin. Among the analog insulin, the Aspart and Lispro, and among the long-acting insulin, Detamid are easily recommended for use in pregnancy. Glulicin, Glargine, and Degludec are all pregnancy category C and still now not recommended for use in pregnancy. Another important thing is the mixed use of conventional insulin and analog insulin is not recommended. The next question arises, when to start the insulin? If the diagnosis is at the first and third trimester, or in women having pre-pregnancy diabetes, if the blood sugar remain without target, then in the first and third trimester, we can go for starting of insulin if we follow this chart. If you look at the glycemic status, if the fasting is between 5.1 to 6, we can wait with the non-pharmacological therapy for 1 week. And then if the target is not achieved, we can go for insulin. If the fasting blood glucose and postprandial glucose is a little bit higher, that is between 6.1 to 7, and the postprandial between 7.8 to 11.1, we will wait for 3 days with the non-pharmacological therapy. And then if the target is not achieved, we should start insulin. And if at the beginning, the blood glucose is fasting more than 7 and the postprandial more than 11.1, we should start insulin from the very beginning along with the non-pharmacological therapy. What about if the diagnosis at second trimester? We can be a little bit liberal in this situation, and for the mild hyperglycemia, we can wait for 1 to 2 weeks and then start insulin along with the non-pharmacological therapy if the target is not achieved. And if there is moderate hyperglycemia, we can wait for 1 week with non-pharmacological therapy and shift to insulin if required. And for the severe hyperglycemia, the recommendation is the same as that of first and third trimester. And the antenatal care timetable is very much dependable with the obstetrician, though along with the obstetrician, the diabetes team also follow-up according to the antenatal visit. The first appointment by the diabetology team should be included. The counseling should be given about the need for glycemic control, and all the routine follow-up and the clinically laboratory assessment should be done accordingly, including the fetal screening also. Other maternal assessment should include the urine for ketone bodies during severe hyperglycemia to detect the possible starvation ketosis. Psychological assessment is recommended to detect anxiety, depression, and eating disorder, and also, of course, the stress. Next, the intrapartum management, that is very important, and strict diabetes control is very much mandatory during the process of delivery. And the medical nutrition therapy and good glycemic control is a cornerstone in the managing labor process of a woman with diabetes. And patients on insulin is managed by IV insulin if required to maintain the blood glucose level between 3.9 to 6.1 millimole per liter during this intrapartum management. In the postpartum management, at least 1 fasting and 1 post-meal blood glucose should be measured before discharge for patients who were on medical nutrition therapy. And the patients who are on insulin, fasting and post-meal blood glucose value should be monitored at least for 24 hours. Women who are in low dose of insulin can stop and monitor the glucose level, and women having high dose insulin may reduce the dose to 50%, and woman getting insulin 0.5 to 1 unit per kg per day need individualized clinical decision. And breastfeeding mothers with diabetes should continue or avoid the drugs for the treatment of diabetes complications that were discontinued for safety reason in the preconception period. That is, the lipid lowering diet, drugs should be avoided, and the antihypertensive, if required, should be that of the pregnancy safe category. The child care is also very important at birth, birth weight, gestational age, congenital abnormalities, all should be monitored, and newborn blood glucose should be checked to detect hypoglycemia if the baby develops it and should be treated accordingly. Exclusive breastfeeding should be started as soon as possible, and parental counseling should be done at every visit to adopt healthy lifestyle and healthy eating habits to avoid obesity for this child even in future life. The most neglected part, not only with the woman with successful delivery, but women with fetal loss having GDM or pre-gestational diabetes should be taken care very deliberately. These women require special attention by the healthcare professional regarding the psychological well-being and regarding the referral to a mental health professional to alleviate the depression and anxiety. And in these cases, in GDM patients who are not requiring insulin should follow by at 6 to 12 weeks by a 75 gram 2 sample oral glucose tolerance test. So for GDM patients who are not requiring insulin post-delivery should go a screening of postpartum OGTT with 75 gram oral glucose tolerance test at 6 to 12 weeks. If it is normal, they should adopt healthy behavior and intervention and should undergo annual OGTT. As she has a previous history of GDM, so she has a further risk or future risk of development of diabetes mellitus that should be kept in mind. If the woman has impaired glucose tolerance at this stage, she should acquire the healthy life behavior intervention plus minus metformin. And the patient, if developed type 2 diabetes, along with the medical nutrition therapy, she should start insulin or metformin as required. Now the last part, managing pregnancy diabetes during this COVID pandemic situation. We are running through a very pandemic situation, and diabetes and pregnancy management, this situation should be very delicate one. According to CDC, pregnant women experiences immunologic and physiological changes which might make them more susceptible to viral respiratory infection, including COVID-19 infection. As we have previous experiences with SARS-CoV and MERS-CoV, where several patients have pregnancy loss, miscarriage, and stillbirth. But as this COVID-19 is the same group of coronavirus with SARS-CoV and MERS-CoV, and there is very much little study with the COVID-19, we should keep in mind all the situations that had happened with the SARS-CoV and the MERS-CoV infection. And it is important to note that high fevers during the first trimester can cause or increase the risk of birth defect. So all the patients having fever and COVID-19 infection during pregnancy should be taken care very meticulously. Women having pre-existing diabetes should follow all the social distancing measure and all COVID norms. An additional test of antenatal visit for pregnancy with pre-existing existing diabetes should include HbA1c, all the complication screening, and the early face-to-face interview, if required, should coincide with 11 to 14 week scan, and this review can cover the visit with a dietitian, a diabetology team, and should have an provisional additional material to support the blood glucose monitoring, diet and sick day rules, information of hypoglycemia, prescription of folic acid and low dose aspirin should be given to them, and all the women should be educated about self-monitoring blood glucose and urinalysis and should communicate to the diabetology team or healthcare professional through the remote video call as far as possible. So to reduce the number of hospital visits in this COVID pandemic situation, all the screening can be done in a single visit with obstetrician and diabetologist. And close and regular phone or email communication between the team should be planned according to the patient's situation. Women who are by this time affected by COVID-19 and who are symptomatic should be aware of the potential effects of infection on and the uncontrolled blood glucose level, and that should be advised for more frequent review of the self-monitoring blood glucose, and this can also be arranged if possible remotely by the video call. And recommendation for the screening of gestational diabetes in this COVID pandemic situation, as to our oral glucose tolerance test requires a prolonged waiting period in large group of in the most of the hospital and the resource constraint. For this situation, 2 hours oral glucose tolerance test may be postponed in this situation. Then how to diagnose or screen for GTM? Women who are at risk can do an HbA1c or a random blood glucose, and if the HbA1c is more than 6.5% and random blood glucose more than 11 millimole per liter, they can be managed as type 2 diabetes. And if the HbA1c is between 6 to 6.5% and the random blood glucose is 9 to 11 millimole per liter, they should be managed as gestational diabetes. And if the levels are below this cutoff, then the HbA1c or fasting or random blood glucose can be again assessed at 28-week gestation and can be diagnosed accordingly. But it should be noted that if any time before or after 28 weeks gestation, patient develop hypoglycemia or classical symptoms of diabetes or development of macrosomia, she should be screened earlier before 28 weeks for diabetes with these tests. And all women diagnosed with GTM should have an appointment with the diabetes team for the training of glucometer if insulin is to be initiated, proper insulin training, and in situation with resourceful region, this can be done also by a video call and should be followed up remotely in the weeks afterwards. And if the SMBG report shows more than 3 abnormal blood glucose value in a week or more than 10 to 15% of all the readings, then she should be referred for insulin. Another important thing is the postpartum screening for maternal dysglycemia in women with gestational diabetes who do not require insulin. Actually, we recommend to sample OGTT at 6 to 12 weeks. But in this COVID situation, this should be deferred until or after the COVID-19 pandemic is over. And it is not recommended for bringing the woman to an in-person healthcare appointment solely for an OGTT in the postpartum time. So if I summarize, preconception care is the right of every woman before pregnancy. Universal testing in this ethnic population of Bangladesh is recommended for with a 2-sample oral glucose tolerance test. If GTM is detected in a woman do not have diabetes prior to pregnancy, should be started with medical nutrition therapy, and if fails, should be shifted to insulin. And the right insulin at the right dose should be chosen to achieve the glycemic target. It is the glycemic target that is the important thing for preventing the complication of GTM or pre-pregnancy diabetes. And for GTM, postpartum evaluation may be done by 75 gram OGTT at 6 to 12 weeks after delivery, and special attention to be given to all pregnancies with diabetes in this COVID pandemic. That's all for me. Thank you. And these are the references which I used for presenting or preparing my slides. Thank you all.